list of traits that every single video game that is under the label of ARPG has. And if a video game doesn't have those traits, it's not an ARPG. I think this is so reductive and constraining, and it's bad for being able to talk about games. It's so fucking stupid.
One thing I want to say is...
Not so fast, Act Man!
Who are you?
Me? I'm your sexy alter ego. And unlike your dumb virgin face, I actually get bitches. You know why? Because I like Diablo 4.
Oh,
but
wow.
You know what I like even more than Diablo 4? The sponsor of today's video. Naraka Blade Point.
Naraka offers a unique spin on the classic Battle Royale format
try those
and
maybe.
robust PvE content, focusing almost entirely on melee combat. Instead of hiding in a bathroom for 20 minutes like you work at Weenie Hut Juniors, you'll be in...
I used to do that in PUBG. Like, I would, I remember, like, a couple times I dropped military, and I saw the circle was gonna close in on military, and I jerked off for, like, 20 minutes, and I came back, and I was in the final circle, and I lost. Yeah. I ended up dying anyway, but I did make... into the final circle.
engaging in fast-paced sword fights. And there's tons of different weapons to play around with, like daggers, katanas, long swords, great swords, and more. It's also not mindless button mashing, as all three types of moves have a counter. So playing around these moves and knowing when to parry, when to charge your attack, or strike quickly is essential. Naraka is now free to play, and they are celebrating their 2-year anniversary with over 20 million players to date. And check it out, look, that's me, I'm in the game. Naraka is also available on all major platforms.
Yeah,
so
I
go
can
play
tell.
it today. Download Naraka Blade Point using the link in the description and pinned comment. And thank you, Naraka, for sponsoring this video.
And now for something completely different.
Didn't play on hardcore and you picked Druid? You couldn't even make it to World Tier 3? And I have expected this to be your first Diablo. This is by far the worst game review I've ever heard.
Which you have heard of.
But you have heard of me.
That's got to be the best game review I've ever
Review. Yep, there we go.
seen.
So it would seem.
Man.
You are hater, Diablo bad. You are the bad guy to play.
Bro, where do these people come from? Oh my god. What are these? This is like a... It's like... I don't even understand.
Bro, why do you sound like Wirt?
Chamber Butcher, the From Spell Portal Downthecast.
Doesn't matter. You still bought and supported Blizzard. You deserve a bad game. Well, at least
Well,
this
you
guy
know.
said the one thing we can all agree on. If it's so bad, why the hell you still playing it?
It's not.
If COD World War II is so bad, then why do you have a gameplay of you playing COD World War II on the background?
Again, it's like poetry, so if they rhyme, every stanza kind of rhymes with the last one.
They had to put level matching in to make it easy enough for a game journalist to play. because World Tier 1 wasn't easy enough. Now we're gonna get into the good shit, okay? Can someone explain to me why it's okay to make reviews on stuff you have not experienced? How are you going to complain about the endgame of Diablo 4 when World Tier 2 is the highest you have played?
I don't think he really talked a lot about the end game. I feel like he might have mentioned, like, yeah, it doesn't look like the end game is that exciting, but, like, I really don't think he talked about the end game hardly at all. Like, he mainly talked about, like, scaling, the way the world was, I think he mentioned always online, and, like, a few other things, but he didn't really focus a lot about that.
Someone explain to me why it's okay to post comments on a video that you clearly didn't watch or listen to?
Yeah.
I never criticized the endgame.
YouTube should have a feature like that, where, like, you have to watch a certain amount of the video in order to comment on it. That's actually, that would be funny. I don't think they'll ever do that because it would probably reduce their engagement. But if you can turn off comments, I don't know why you couldn't do that. You have to, like, at least watch, like 30 minutes of it. Or not 30 minutes, or 30% of it. A timestamp? Yeah, it should have a timestamp of how long you watched the video. Yeah.
Because I never played it. I criticized everything before it. And if I didn't enjoy
Zero.
what I played up to that point, then I ain't gonna enjoy
0-1.
the end game. If you don't like the dungeons in WoW, there's a pretty good chance you're not gonna like the raids. But here we are today.
That's true. Like, it's also like, if the game doesn't motivate you to play endgame, then why the fuck would you even? Why would you keep playing? It doesn't make sense.
Asking for changes and complaining on something that you have not experienced. Don't publicly stand on your stage and give opinions on stuff you have never experienced. This whole video would be different if you actually got off Tutorial Island.
Yeah, I know. People just like they get so into that. And I don't really understand like why. Well, I think it's maybe because like it's a way for them to just like invalidate what somebody else's opinion is. But like, if a game doesn't motivate somebody to get to end game, doesn't that make the game kind of bad? I mean, like, so like if you ever, so like have you ever like started watching a TV show or watching a video or playing a game and like you didn't like it, but you didn't finish it? So are you then not allowed to say you didn't like it? What's the logic here?
8. I was stuck on Tutorial Island? I was playing RuneScape this whole time? This is one of the more baffling yet surprisingly common takes you'll see from Diablo fanboys. Instead of like outright defending the quality of D4's campaign and content up to level 50, they just say, well, that's not the real game. You didn't experience the actual game. Okay, well, if that's true, and Diablo 4 does hold the Guinness World Record for longest video game tutorial at a whopping 30 hours, then can I skip that shit? Can I get to the real game that people keep telling me is so awesome?
It's funny to me too.
It's crazy. Like sometimes you'll be able to run a dungeon, and then after you finish running the dungeon, you can do it again.
Diablo 4.
Turned you into a prisoner.
I mean, it's strange to me too. But we talking about practice, man. We're not even talking about the game, the actual game, when it matters. We talking about practice.
Why do I have to suffer? Why do I have to go through all this bullshit?
Thank you. Yes, you should never have to. You should never have to earn being able to enjoy yourself in a video game. It's such a ridiculous thing to think.
Then, do you guys think this dude knows that he's actually agreeing with me and saying that everything leading up to the end game wasn't that great? Well, he takes it a step further than I do. He's asserting that I haven't even experienced Diablo 4. This isn't even content to him. Why make a video about something you didn't even experience? Oh, because clickbait. You see what I'm saying? This is pure coke, dude. These people genuinely think Diablo 4's campaign is so boring, uninteresting, and irrelevant to the core of Diablo that in their mind, they don't even consider it to be an experience that the game offers.
Yeah, it's because these are people that are hardcore Diablo players. They're Diablo farmers. They do the campaign. They skip everything. They don't watch the cutscenes or cinematics. They don't know any of the characters' names. They have no idea what they're talking about whenever they talk about the campaign. And like, that's just what it is. And that's totally fine. It's okay. But like, a lot of other people do care about it.
And yet they're defending it. It's opinions like these that make me want to host a tournament between Pokemon and Diablo fans to see which fan base has lowered their fucking expectations more. I don't know why you guys are trying to outdo each other, but holy god, with takes like these, the Diablo fans are pulling ahead. Dude, even with how down bad people were for Scarlet and Violet, you never saw someone come out with a hot take like, the gyms? The Elite Four? None of that stuff matters in a Pokemon title. That's not the real game. The real game starts with the battle tower. If you said
it's like when you're playing other people, it's just like, it's so weird.
That to a Pokemon fan, you would be strangled in your sleep. Guys, we're talking about a campaign that has a story. We're talking about dungeons, side quests.
I mean, listen, we talking about practice. Not a game, not a game, not a game. We talking about practice.
You know he thought this shit up. You know
Not
this
a
is
game.
making people mad.
Not the game that I
feel like Diablo 3 wasn't like, as I said, like Diablo, I don't know. I feel like Diablo 4 is better than Diablo 3. That's my opinion.
go out there and die for. I play every game like it's my last. Not the game. We're talking about practice, man. What are we talking about? Practice? We're talking about practice, man.
All this stuff that you experienced prior to level 50, it's in the game, so it matters. It's part of the experience.
Yeah, it's like I remember whenever I started playing WoW, like I had fun playing WoW the first day I played WoW. Like I didn't have to like get to like level 25 to have fun, or like get to level 60 or 40 or 50 or anything. Like I had fun the first day I played the game. And I feel like there are very few games that I genuinely did not enjoy. Like there are times where like I didn't enjoy playing a game on stream because of like drama or something like that. But in general, like a game that I actually just didn't have fun playing. And then later on, I started having fun playing it. I don't think that's ever happened to me. Because I feel like every time I played a game and I didn't like it, and I came back, maybe tried it again afterwards, I didn't like it. Final Fantasy 14 mentioned?
You know it, boys. Here we go.
I don't know. I think A Realm Reborn is... I liked A Realm Reborn. I thought it was great. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I thought it was great. I liked it.
Try and pretend otherwise is just advocating for an objectively worse Diablo game for you and everybody else. And I don't know why anybody would advocate for that unless they're not actually a fan of this series. If you agree with me that
Bleak Faith is different because Bleak Faith literally got fixed. Like they literally hot fixed the game like 10 times by the time that I finished it.
everything prior to the end game is bad, then stop defending it. Because you deserve better. Diablo fans.
Yeah.
I am not trying to rob you. I'm trying to help you.
Bro, you will be...
Yeah, that's actually so true. Like, if you make excuses for a bad game, you're gonna get a bad game.
Secretly gonna be playing Season 1. This was clearly made 5 views. Yes, pass me up because your logic is off and I'm a fan, so what? But doesn't change facts? Garbage.
You don't know WAF World War II is Starrett liking World War II, then make that video.
Why dare you?
Again, it's like poetry, so if they rhyme.
That's a good one.
Stanza kind of rhymes with the last one.
Bro, I hate to burst your bubble, but I ain't gonna be playing Season 1, okay? I'm not going through the world record tutorial again, alright? What I will be playing is Diablo 1 Beelzebub mod, because holy tits, this shit is fucking awesome. Real quick, I'm gonna recommend this mod for anybody that wants to play a fun, challenging ARPG. Beelzebub mod has the style and gameplay of Diablo 1, but with all the best innovations from D2. It also restores a bunch of cut content and quests. Let me show you guys one of my favorite parts of it. Look, they added a stash to Diablo 1. Check this out. You get 50 tabs of storage right from the start.
Now, wait, I thought you had to spend money for stash tabs. Wait, so you're wait, hold on. You telling me that a mod for a game that came out 20 years ago can have more than 4 stash tabs? Hold up. Bro, there gotta be, what's the catch? How much money we gotta spend? What is it?
But Diablo 4 has a similar storage system, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Anyways, campaign is easy. Nightmare Dungeons will actually test your build and skill. Diablo shouldn't be judged by its campaign. So I just want to make sure where these takes are coming from. I didn't play much Diablo 3, but from what I'm hearing, that game must have had the worst fucking campaign yet made by man.
I thought the campaign in Diablo 3 was fine. I didn't mind it. I thought it was okay. It was a solid 7 or an 8 out of 10. It was not a 10. I thought it was fine.
And kind. Like, it sounds like it was so horrifically god-awful that it turned part of the fan base off to the idea of a campaign entirely. Like, was it actually that bad? Or maybe you guys just spent far too much time in the end game. You've forgotten that there's a beginning and a middle game, that what you're playing at one point had a story. Oh, everyone talks shit about all the different COD campaigns, but one thing we all agreed on was that Black Ops 4 should have had one. Why? If you don't care about anything but the end game, that's fine. But you have to acknowledge that other Diablo fans play these games for different reasons than you. Where is that fabled experience? I replay Diablo games every year. If the campaign is not the core experience, then the game has failed as a Diablo game in my eyes. Nope. Nope. You're not
let me read it real quick. What's the fabled experience? We replay Diablo campaigns every year of well-balanced. The campaign is not the core experience, and the game has failed. Diablo game. I mean, it's a mixture of things. Like it's not one. It's not the campaign does not define the game. The end game does not define the game. It's a pie graph.
And the game has failed as a Diablo game in my eyes.
I think.
Nope. Nope. You're not supposed to play these games for the campaign. Not allowed. We're shutting the doors on you. This is a gated community. You literally complain the game is too easy, yet when you encounter the first difficulty spike, you stop playing.
He said that he liked that. He said that was the only thing that he liked.
More like Clown Man.
More like Clown. Got him! Oh, shit.
These people don't even know that they're agreeing with me.
Yeah.
So we agree that the first difficulty spike happens after you beat the game, right? That's a problem, dude. That's
I thought Lilith was kind of hard, but yeah, definitely.
problem. You're wearing the clown mask too. Try playing the game after level 50. 75% of your complaints are moot right after the point where you stop. So,
no, they're not. As somebody who's level 100, they're not. He's right.
So what you're saying is 75% of my complaints were valid up until the point I stopped.
So he's right about everything else, but if he played more, he would be wrong about everything else. Trust me, I know because I like the game. Yeah, I'm a fan of the game, so I think that he's wrong.
They don't know they're agreeing with me.
Yeah.
If you agree with me, then stop defending it. Imagine not even getting to the end game, making a review and thinking your opinion matters.
His opinion matters just as much as anybody else's opinion does. And this is what the weird thing is that if people are quitting the game before the end game, you've got to look at it from the perspective of the developer. This is a person who bought a game and probably didn't play it to a degree that they feel like they got their money's worth for that game. So this is a customer that had an unsatisfactory experience. That is problematic. It is tremendously problematic. It's foolish to think, like, a lot of video game players have this idea that you have to, like, earn the right to be able to play a game or enjoy a game. How outrageous, how stupid. Absolutely fucking not. If you buy a game and you have a problem with, like, the tutorial of the game isn't fun, or it's annoying, or it's bad, like, I've had, like, I remember I almost wanted to quit Wulong Fallen Dynasty because the tutorial boss was, like, ridiculously fucking hard. And I remember saying, like, and everybody was telling me, oh, it's gonna get way harder after this. You're just bad at the game. Nah, bro, I beat it. I beat the whole game. The tutorial boss is like the second hardest boss in the whole game. What the fuck? It's just stupid. Like, it's so dumb.
Next time, actually play the game because you missed a ton of actual issues.
Yeah.
What? The game is worse than I thought it was? There's some issues?
Yeah, you're so stupid for saying the game's bad. You don't even know that the game's bad. It's even more bad than you said it's bad, which makes your review wrong because you said it was bad, and it turns out that it's actually bad. Uh-huh.
I didn't even notice? You guys are terrible at selling me on this endgame content. I don't know what type of sales strategy this is, but it's fucking awful. I don't think you can provide a proper critique of D4 if you never played D3. So many things were already solved.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. So you have to play Diablo 3? Why? So, is my critique of Final Fantasy 16 invalid because I didn't play Final Fantasy 15? Is my critique of Final Fantasy 14 invalid because I didn't play Final Fantasy 13? I didn't play Diablo 2, so I can't say that Diablo 3 was bad? What is the logic here? So many things are already solved with Diablo
3, and they just completely ignored them when designing D4. It's embarrassing.
He's totally right. By the way, this guy is completely right about this statement here. That, like, for example, debuffs. Debuffs were solved in Diablo 3. Blizzard decided to innovate the genre by making it harder to understand what's happening in the game.
Okay, so they solved problems in D3 and completely ignored...
Talking about attribute points and limited number of skills. Yeah. I feel like your ultimate ability should be its own keybind. Like Lost Ark has awakening skills. Now, why do I think that? I don't know, because I think it's cool. That's why. Right? Because I think it's cool to use ultimate abilities because they have cool effects and they're like cooldowns. Like, yeah, that's why. Like, I don't care about the balance. Like, who cares? Just make the mobs harder then. That's it.
them when designing D4, it's embarrassing. Okay, so they solved problems in D3 and then reintroduced those problems in D4.
Yeah.
Again, I have no idea how Blizzard managed to gaslight so many people into agreeing that D4 is worse than previous titles, and then that is somehow acceptable. Ro has some pretty horrible takes. He didn't even make it to endgame and just played it as a story-driven game and not an ARPG. You guys...
I really hate these people that use like ARPG as if it's like some sort of defined thing that, like, I think that what they mean by ARPG is either Diablo 2 or Path of Exile. That's it. Yeah, ARPG equals PoE. That's it. Yeah, they're not even really thinking about like, and this is what I was talking about before, and it was the same that like MMO players used to have this thing where anytime that solo content was added into an MMO, they would be like, huh, well, I guess it's not an MMO anymore. Oh, you're adding solo content? What, into an MMO? I thought this was an MMO. Oh my God. I'm so glad that like people are moving past that. Hopefully ARPGs will have the same type of renaissance because it's so annoying reading that. Funniest part about these comments is the end game is literally worse. Yeah, that's actually a good point. Yeah, it's like I think the character design, like I think basically this is my opinion about like character design in Diablo 4 is I think that these skill trees are too simple and the Paragon trees are too complex. Just, I think that they're like, I think they should make the skill trees a little bit more complex, Paragon trees a little bit less complex. I think being able to rotate shit and move it all around, it might be a bit much. And I think it's so complex that you can't, like, I don't think that a casual player can realistically perfect the Paragon tree without investing like a tremendous amount of time. So because of that, I think what happens is that people just look it up. And I think that's what happens when you make a game very complicated like this, is that it's not like people, like PoE, for example, like most people just copy a build guide. Like that's it. Like, and I do a lot of times too. Like I use a build guide as a foundation and then I build off of that. But a lot of people just use the build guide and that's it. And like there is good things with that, but there's also bad things too, because they're not really, at that point, they're not really playing the game. They're just following the Brady Game strategy guide for how to beat the video game. That's effectively what's happening.
Guys legit have campaigns and stories that are on par with the best of StarCraft and Warcraft. On par with the best of Halo and Call of Duty. And you think that shit is unimportant? You think that's irrelevant? What the fuck happened to the Diablo fan base? How could any...
It's like, yeah, I completely agree with this. Like, by the way, it's like Halo 2. Like, the campaign in Halo 2 was a massive fucking part of the game. Massive. Halo 1, massive fucking part of the game. Halo 3, massive fucking part of the game. And you know what? The multiplayer was fucking insane. Like, hey, dude, Halo 2 was the first game that brought online multiplayer to just like the mainstream. Like, yeah, we had CS, we had Unreal Tournament, but like Halo with like Xbox Live, bro, that took a circle that was this big and it made it this big. And then Halo 3 did it that much fucking better. But guess what? In both of those games, the campaign was also a big factor, and it was S tier as well.
How could you possibly arrive at that conclusion after Diablo 2? This is just insane to me. No wonder the games are so bad. You guys have no fucking standards whatsoever. The problem with this review is that Ackman approaches D4 as a casual ARPG player, but then again...
Why is that a problem?
And I thought D4 was supposed to be tailored for the casual ARPG player, which not only leaves Diablo in a weird place as an RPG, but also an ARPG. Well, that's the thing.
Again, labels and these. Oh, let's apply a label to this. That way, you know, we have to make sure that it follows my my headcanon list of attributes that it must have. Oh, fuck. What are we doing?
Because I'm not a casual ARPG player. I'm a single player enthusiast. I'm a lone wolf. I like to play solo and immerse myself in the world, the lore, and challenge. You know, I love Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 1 and 2, Gauntlet Dark Legacy. You know, back in the day...
Well, that shit, bro, like, Gauntlet Dark Legacy, that was a multiplayer game. I remember I played that shit with Jeff and Austin. Like, we beat that whole game.
You beat these games, and then they were over. So the only thing to do was play them again, and that's what I did. And that's what I do today. When I beat Diablo 2, I don't grind bail 100 times. I either play a new difficulty on the same character or start a new character entirely. But see, like, having said that, there's going to be Diablo fans that want to gatekeep the series from me because that's how I enjoy it and play it.
Well, this is the same, like, WoW has, like, a huge problem with this in their community, too. Is that, like, they're like, well, unless you do Mythic Plus, you're just, like, not a real player. Unless you do Mythic Plus 20s, you're not a real player. Unless you do Mythic Raids, you're not a real player. Unless you do, like, you know, Mythic Raids at, like, Hall of Fame, you're not a real player. Unless you do Arena, you're not a real player. Like, it's just the most cringe fucking shit, man.
Because I don't play it in the most hardcore way possible. So allow me to do a little gatekeeping of my own. I guarantee you if some of these Diablo fanboys went back and played the first game, they would lose their fucking mind. Yeah, why don't you go back to the game where every time you open a chest, there's a 33% chance that it just explodes in your face for no reason? Yeah, go back and fight the zombies on level 5 that permanently reduce your HP every time you get hit. Yeah, go back and fight those guys as a melee build. Why don't you try clicking on a random shrine that fucks up
I actually watched a video on them.
Build and takes away your stats? Yeah, go back and experience that, then we can talk about gatekeeping. The goal of modern RPGs is generally to create a fake feeling of depth so that newer gamers and non-gamers think they are playing something epic. They know hardcore gamers are going to grind it out and drop it. They also know if they can string casuals along with a system that seems deep but is actually shallow and simple, means they will play for literally ever. Couldn't have said it better myself. That sounds like a business proposition. You know what I mean? That sounds like...
There's nothing wrong with making a casual, easy game for casual players. It's completely okay. Everything is wrong with that? No, there's not. There's nothing wrong with it. Yeah, completely good.
The business model. And it's exactly how I felt the longer I played. I was like, okay, this started off really fun, but the longer I play, the more shallow it feels.
Yeah.
Excellent comment, J-Dog. Jesus Christ, it's like looking in the mind of a complete simpleton. 4 stats on an item is too complicated. It's not the amount of stats an item changes, it's what they change, right?
Yeah.
I don't